Hello, Libra. Welcome to a general reading. Welcome to As I See You Tarot. This is a general reading for August 1st through the 15th, 2020. It's a general reading, so it's more for the collective. So if it resonates with you, great. If something doesn't resonate, keep in mind that it might be not necessarily related to you. It could be someone that's closest to you. Also look at your cross signs and your crossovers and your sun rising signs. But it's a general reading, and go from there. This is a 5-card spread. We're looking at sort of things that you're are working on or are involving in the immediate time here. Cards have already been shuffled and asked the angels and spirit guides to guide on this reading, and we will begin. One. Okay. So, my Libras. So, we start out here with, this is your past influences here. So we come here with our immediate past influences. This is the Emperor, and it's a Major Arcana card. So this is represented by a father figure. It suggests that you're adopting perhaps a fatherly role, regardless whether you're male or female, because again, gender doesn't really mean anything here. Particularly when it comes to family and perhaps protecting or defending your loved ones. They're asking you, or you're finding yourself to be sort of a stability and a security. It represents, a powerful leadership and demands respect and authority and recognition for your efforts. It suggests that you are comfortable in this sort of role, or you were asked to be in this sort of role in your immediate past, and you were able to make decisions or sort of demonstrate a firm but fair hand, that balancing of the scales, that you were able to provide a clear vision for what you needed to do or create or organize or those around you. And you listened to the advice of others before you made a final say. It suggested that if you dealt with sort of conflict, that it didn't scare you, and you effectively used your sort of authority and the power for those that you cared about. In return, I get the feeling that the people that you were representing or were close to you respected that and gave a sense of loyalty, and it felt good. The Emperor here, typically reflects are bound by rules and regulations, and think of Libra, you're the scales there. It creates sort of a law and order, and wants to apply the principles to specific situations. It creates sort of a calmness out of chaos by breaking down problems into parts and mapping them out, and that's a skill. And it symbolizes sort of a systematic approach to and to being organized and to stick to your plan for the outcome. It also sort of signifies knowledge and expertise, that perhaps you were consulted on something that you had knowledge of, or information, and whether it could be a job, work, a hobby, or a personal matter or something, whatever sort of fit you, that you were able to share some sort of wisdom and some sort of based on your experience and guidance, and you had a good outcome within that past here, your immediate past. Now, when we look at our immediate presence, you may have the Lovers here. It represents obviously by two people. This is, represents a conscious connection and a meaningful relationship. When it sort of shows up in a reading, it signifies sort of that soul honoring connection, and that goes beyond sort of instant gratification and lust. It's more spiritual and more tantric. The lovers can also refer to a romantic tie, or to a close relationship, or to a family relation, something where you've connected with somebody or something. The Lover's card is about open communication and raw honesty. It's given that here on the card here, the two individuals are naked. It symbolizes that they're both willing to be in their most vulnerable state, and to learn about each other, and it opens up their hearts and sort of lets the defenses down and shows sort of a willingness to show the truest feelings. And again, it signifies about communication. So if there's something that you are wanting or needing or perhaps had to or pending to communicate about something, it's encouraging that you be honest and open about it. And to work on creating a harmonious and fulfilling communication based on trust and respect. On the more personal level, the Lover's card can represent getting closer about your values and your own beliefs, and perhaps on something that you're doing some soul searching or looking at a philosophy. It's about finding a system that you want to believe in, and it's time that for you to make sort of choices if you haven't been wondering about something, or something's been pending for you. It's staying true to who you are, and being authentic and genuine in your endeavors, and that's what's critical here. At its heart, the Lovers is about choice, and it's suggesting that perhaps you're in a situation where you need to be making a choice, and what you will allow yourself to be involved in and not be involved in, or to put up with or not put up with. It's about making good choices, and it's advising you that you be clear sort of on your personal beliefs and values and stay true to them. And it also says that not all the decisions that you may be facing are going to be easy ones. This typically is sharing here that you might be facing some sort of moral dilemmas, or considering sort of consequences before you act. If you're involved in some sort of situation where perhaps you feel you've been wronged, but you really haven't been wronged, perhaps this is sort of a conscience card, and sort of asking you to take a step back and do the right thing, and do not carry out a decision based on fear, worry, or guilt or shame. And it's saying right now that for you, Libra, to it's more important now than ever that you sort of love yourself, love for others, and love the universe, and be the best version of yourself. And if there were any feelings of pettiness or negativity, to let those go. It's sort of the laws of attraction. If you think you've been wronged, or think you something negative, you're going to attract those sort of things. So this is an opportunity to sort of rethink those things if it applies. This also is encouraging you, Libras, to sort of unify if there's sort of a dual force. It's suggesting that you bring together sort of the two thoughts or two differences that you might be thinking about that are in opposition with each other, and sort of making them more unified and balanced, and it's also I get the message here that it's saying, Libra, that you're giving choices, and to use the equal amount of time for those choices, to look at advantages and disadvantages, and look at the opportunities and challenges, look at the positive and negative, and when you accept these sort of dualities, you're going to build a much better flow. And in other words, use those Libra scales, and be cognitive of that. In your immediate present right now, you have the King of Cups. So here, this this typically represents that you've come over a mastery of emotion, that you've mastered some sort of creativity over the unconscious. It turns, it means it's saying that perhaps you've gained some sort of control of your feelings, and that you're able to accept them now without allowing them to get the better of you. Sort of that sense of maturity, one could say. And that whatever challenges that you might be faced, you can draw on your sort of emotional. There it is. Yeah, I'm getting that. Drawing your emotional maturity and stability to help you navigate these feelings, and perhaps you didn't rely on those in the past as much as you thought. And this is basically saying that you're looking at that. You're more aware. You're more mindful. It's advising you not to let things get to you and to steer clear of drama. Instead of choosing sort of an emotional balanced, instead of drama, it's coming at me real quick here. Drama, right? It's saying steer away from drama and choose more of the emotional balanced responses and calm approach. Again, use your scales of that Libra balance. If for those Libras who feel they're being challenged sort of professionally, I get the feeling that it's saying to remain emotionally mature again, and when you're faced with that negative energy at work, or whatever may work for you. It's saying be firm with your personal boundaries, and understand what is acceptable for you on an emotional level, and to remain level-headed and in control of your emotions, and not let your emotions get the best of you, and not to be petty even though it might be easy to do. It's saying that that's not the time right now. To use intellect and use your smart decisions, and not let other circumstances or whims or other people's influences get the best of you. Stay true to your emotions and feelings, and not let others steer you away from that. Rely on that. This King of Cups here sort of embodies a perfect balance between sort of your intellect and your heart, and it's advising you to sort of manage situations, or if you're involved in a situation where decisions need to be made, is to do it logically and do it fairly. Use your intuition. It's encouraging you to be understanding of human interactions. It's sort of suggesting that you demonstrate sort of a leadership, and that you care as much about achieving your goals and objectives as you do about making sure everyone is happy and engaged, and not see things one-sided. It's asking and suggesting that you rely on a sense of logic, and again balance that energy. As the king here, it represents sort of a masculine, fatherly sort of energy, that where it's an opportunity to demonstrate to bring your emotional self to the forefront, and to offer sort of wise advice when it comes to your feelings, or addressing your own feelings, or to someone else, their emotions or creativity in your relationships. And it's reminding you to sort of use your human dynamics in its entirety before you come to decisions or make judgment. It's reminding you that compassion is important here, and to use compassion, and remember, sort of, if you were in a past relationship, or had where you felt you were wronged, or some situation where you might have felt you were wrong, and it's being dealt with right now, and you were angry or upset. Now it's saying, let go of that, and use compassion in your decisions, and to think, and be patient, and interact with again, that sort of maturity that a king will have. And yeah, interesting. It just sort of says you'll have a better peace of mind in these interactions, and you'll get better results. yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's interesting. Now, here's your immediate challenges, and this is the Five of Cups, and this Five of Cups is in the reverse. Now, when this shows in reverse, it's 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 basically saying challenges that you may be coming up with doesn't imply that they will come up. It's just it's advising that these could be coming up and to help you be aware of them to handle any challenges in a better way. That's what we're talking about here. So here, it's that you might have had you might have felt a personal setback or felt some sort of disappointment in some sort of decision, and that perhaps that you worried that you failed at something, or you didn't want others to know that you took a wrong path. Perhaps it's the feeling is that you weren't ready to admit to others, and you're choosing to keep your feelings to yourself, and perhaps something that you've been involved in your past you weren't necessarily truthful about, or you chose consciously or unconsciously to see it your way, which may not have been the correct way. And this is sort of suggesting that if you're involved where it's brought back up in the present, if there was something that that past is now having to be a part of the discussion or something you're having to deal with, this is sort of suggesting that to get through these challenges is to be truthful, to that perhaps you may have distorted your side of the situation at some point to sort of win other people over, but I get the feeling that whether it was done deliberately or not, it's coming back towards you, and it's saying here it's going to haunt you. The story that you may have shared with others to sort of build you up may not have been the correct story, and if it's coming up around now's the time to sort of address that in some way. Perhaps you need to talk to somebody. You need to sort of open up with somebody that you trust and sort of get it off your chest about what really occurred. And let's say if you felt that you were horribly wronged by somebody or something, and perhaps that wasn't really the case, but that was the story that you were saying to everybody. Maybe, and it's coming around now, maybe it's time to clear the air on that, and perhaps just it's okay to basically say that was your perception at the time, but now you realize it wasn't, that sort of thing. It's suggesting that because the challenge right now, I'm getting the feeling is I'm getting the feeling that it's that you may be feeling guilty or ashamed about something about you did or didn't do, and perhaps a mistake or something that you jumped to conclusions. And when this card is in reverse, it encourages you to forgive yourself about that first, but also is giving you an opportunity to correct it. And that's the key here. It's forgiveness, and also to change the story. To make things right. And it won't be as bad as you perhaps think it will be. In the reverse here, this also serves as a reminder that you can't undo your past, and what has happened, and it's time to sort of let go of that because it no longer serves you emotionally, and or to let go of something that you think you were wronged on. If you've been hanging on to that, and it's now to forgive. Whatever the case is and to let go, because it's going to hold you back from getting new opportunities that are available to you. And it's suggesting that it's time to take risks and open up your heart. And if you're able to sort of let go and forgive, it's time to do, or you're just going to be met with a little bit more challenges, or you're not going to get those successes as quickly as you would like. In your immediate outcomes, you have here is the Six of Pentacles, and Pentacles, we like those. This card represents sharing. It's sharing of abundance. It's perhaps you've accumulated. It doesn't. When it says wealth, money, or material, it's not implying you're a billionaire or millionaire. It's whatever of value, things that are of value to you, and you know that perhaps now you've reached sort of a sense of stability. I mean, you may not be a millionaire, but perhaps you're better off than what you were, and you have a handle of your sort of finances, and you perhaps are feeling good about that, and you've reached that, and it's and perhaps you might wonder at times, can you truly afford to give to others, or financially, or because you've been hanging on to it, and or be charitable to others in some ways, in a balanced way. And the Six of Pentacles here is basically saying that for outcomes is to trust that every contribution that you make is valued and will come back to you threefold, and use your good judgment, but some things you may be able to help others, and you will benefit from it. It also sort of says if you're inclined to make a loan to someone on sort of the idea that they will eventually pay you back once they're on their feet, that if the loan is built on trust and good faith, knowing that you're giving something away, it will come back to you. And keep in mind that we sort of know when you loan somebody something, or your friend borrows money, and they agree to send it back, that's a risk. You're sort of giving it away on the hope that they'll go it back. And this is sort of saying that with the right situation and using your intuition, that if this is something that approaches you, it will come back to you. So just be aware of that situation. And it's sort of suggesting that in this case the exchange is more short term, and it's sustainable. And if you can financially support a family member or a friend in some way, to help them with self-sufficiency, that's a good thing. But again, look at the situation. And the other side of the coin here is it's if you're on the receiving end of generosity, someone's offering you something, a gift or sort of gratitude, this is to help you get back on your feet. It's reminding you to repay the charitable contribution, and to be responsible with that, because karma, remember, there's laws of attraction, and what you put out is what you get. So if you borrow money and decide not to pay it back, that's bad karma. Yeah. So hopefully that's not the case. Sort of. It just says be I just get it's saying be mindful that you're not. That you're not feeling, if you think you're being submissive or being taken advantage of, if you're requested to to help somebody out, that in this case that's not what it's happening, and this is an immediate future. Something's going on. The Six of Pentacles in sort of your outcomes is more about a sort of a financial harmony, and it's saying that your outcomes when it comes to finances currently right now is you reached a thankful sort of harmony, and to appreciate that, and it's time to sort of share it if you can, but again, use free will and use judgment. So my Libras, this is again your August general reading. I hope it resonates with some of you. It's basically for the August 1st to August 15th of 2020, and I thank you for stopping by my channel. It's new, As I See You Tarot, and I appreciate your patience and understanding as I perfect it. But to help with the Google algorithms, I would really appreciate your support, and to click on this, the like video, the subscribe to my channel, and the notification bell. All three of those things are important for the Google algorithms, and it would definitely help me with my channel, and produce more videos and get better at. So I thank you very much, and happy August 1st through 15th, Libra. Take care.